Right to protest is an important element of democracy, but sometimes it threatens law and order. History has proved that every time when protests have done on on a large scale, it harms the public. Collateral damage happens. Whether it is Agniveer protest in 21 when so-called students burn trains and cars, done a lot of millions of properties, and whether it is farmer protests, they are jumping highways and other entry zones. Suppose someone required any medical facilities, and how can it be given to them when so-called farmers are jamming roads and traffic?
Partially disagreeing with the point. Protests always happen because of the imperformance of government when they do not meet the required needs of the citizens, who the citizens select as their people to rule. And the protest happens. When the protest happens, it empowers the citizens as the citizens think that they are not alone. Uh, they get strengthened when they protest, and protest is the best way to keep your word.
I am agree with you, but you know where is the legal site of protest in India? Jantar Mantar is a legal site for protest in India, but not NS24 या highways are not protest areas.
Basically, most of the morchas and all the strikes were done at Jantar Mantar. I also agree with him. And there is one more negative effects also, like most of the people who are not neither they support this strike or not against with it. They just take advantage of that. There are some violence in between strikes and these dharnas. So this is the another phase of
Protest is good, but many people take advantage in this protest and raise political slogans in them. We all heard about them. So protest is good, but not in that way that crowd is merge and raising slogans and doing collateral damage to people and blaming government. Government can only listen if you are doing it in a peaceful manner, not burning trains and slogans.
without violence. Agreeing with this point, I think public protest somewhere lead to damage to the public property. With proper and effective communication and with the discussion with the government and between the protesters, we can have better solutions rather than having public protests. It also leads to wasting of the time of the people. Somewhere, I think it is related to opposition as well. The opposition takes the advantage when there is a public protest happening, which may lead to political instability as well. So it somewhere threatens the law and order of the country.
I am agree. So the citizens are angry and they do things like protest in heavy amount, and so killings happen. But the government needs to address them peacefully, and so the protest will decrease. But the government does not address them peacefully, and they don't listen their needs. They do not meet the requirement, and so the people, like we can say, the farmers. Right now, the farmer protest is happening in Delhi NCR region. The government is not listening their policies, they are not meeting their requirements, and so farmers are protesting in large numbers.
I think instead of violent protests, we can have peaceful protests, which is also derived from the Article 19 of the Constitution, which is right to freedom and speech. So, right to protest is a derived article which has been derived. So, I think peaceful protest is a better method rather than getting violent, getting onto the roads, affecting the people and public properties. Also, we can see that recently, as you talked about the farmers' protest, network connection, internet was jammed in seven of the districts, metro stations were stopped, which also leads to a chaos in the city. The people are unable to reach to their workplaces easily. There is a lot of traffic on the roads. So, peaceful protest is a comparatively better method rather than violent protest.
But what is the solution if the government does not address them peacefully or do not listen them?
This doesn't mean that we can affect the law and order of the country, because although the people are affected, the people who are not even involved in the protest, like the normal businessmen or the office going people, they are also having a lot of impact of these protests. So instead, they can choose a better method rather than getting onto the roads and protesting only.
And I agree with her. Right to protest is an important element, and so right to life and right to personal liberty is also an important article that is not suspended during emergency. So how can it be suspended in the protest, like someone is losing their life in protest just that government is not listening to him or her?
But how can a citizen state his or her point if the government is not listening to him after so many peaceful conversations, so many peaceful protests? So only thing that is left for the citizen and for a community or a group is to have a protest, to have a powerful protest which would directly be in talks with the government of that nation.
I think it has given a chance to the opposition to pass comments and statements over the ruling party rather than the government being directly affected by the peasants. As we see, the government is not like that much considering the protest till now. They are more into replying to their oppositions and everything. So it has become more of a political issue rather than the actual reason because of which the protest was done.